Colorado Springs, Colorado, with the mountains looking overhead. We have a great matchup out west tonight as the Switchbacks take on Memphis 901 FC, presented by Capelli Sports. Sean St. Jacques, the former U.S. Women's International, Casey White on hand for this one. We'll take a look at the Western Conference standings right off the bat. The fans are ready to roll for this one. The Switchbacks are in second place, Casey, but they have no draws and no losses. 5 out of 5. They're off to a perfect start.
It's a dream start for a team in the USL, and they have that goal differential in their favor, scoring a lot of goals, but also only giving up 4 goals. They're doing really well to start the season, to say the least.
Let's see how they got to that 5-0-0 start. They had a tight one against Vegas last time out, but Brendan Burke's side held their nerve away from home.
And 3 different goal scorers, the header by Amo there, also getting Zandy on the board, and Lindley. So it speaks well to their attack that those 3 players also contributing on the scoreline for the Switchbacks.
No Michi, no Haji on the score sheet. The Switchbacks still left Vegas with all 3 points. Speaking of the former, Michi Galina is our player to watch tonight, brought to you by Modelo. What can you say? That he brings the flash, the flair, and the skill.
It's so much pace in Michi Galina. Just someone that every team that plays against him has to watch, has to know where he is, because he just needs a moment to have an impact, and definitely a player tonight that everyone should be paying attention to.
Him and Haji Berry have been 2 of the biggest stars in this league the last season plus, and we're excited to see them at full flight tonight in Colorado Springs. As you might expect, they're both in Brendan Burke's starting lineup, brought to you by Phil Long. Here's how the rest of it looks.
And Macaulay King getting into the starting lineup for Dennis Erdman. So he comes into that back line that's only given up 4 goals. A lot is said about the attack through Mo, Berry, Galina, but really that back line as well is something really to pay attention to.
On the other side of things, Colorado Springs obviously off to that perfect start. Memphis coming in, they've gotten a little bit of rest, couldn't play their last game due to poor field conditions. They've got a pretty darn good 11 themselves, and they're rested.
They do. They're not a team that's going to come in and be easy to play against. Malloy, just a box-to-box midfielder, someone that can cover a lot of ground. And they have a back line that's very consistent as well, that has played in all of the games so far in the USL.
Teams walking out here as we get closer to kickoff, brought to you by Children's Hospital Colorado. We're looking forward to this one. Switchbacks, of course, are trying to stay perfect in the start to this USL Championship season, but they'll have a tough test tonight against Memphis 901 FC. It's here on ESPN+. Join us for the kick coming up next. Jock Casey White back here with you as the Switchbacks join us on the pitch. Memphis huddled up. This one presented by Capelli Sports. Switchbacks are a perfect 5-0-0 to start the season. 15 points from 15. Memphis, a little bit of a mixed bag so far, but they come to Widener Field fresh. They haven't played in just over a week, and we're excited to see what Ben Pierman's side can do. Of course, Ben Pierman was the interim head coach of Memphis last season. He gets the full job, and we're excited to see what Memphis 901 FC will look like. Today on the road, it's going to be a good environment here at Widener Field. Elton Garcia is our center official for this one. And of course, the Switchbacks have the best mark so far in the USL Championship, trying to make it a perfect 6 out of 6 to start the season. We've got 3 road wins during that stretch, and we're looking to see how they do at home tonight. And the Switchbacks in their home blacks with the blue trim kick us off. They'll be going from left to right here on ESPN+. Ockford on it defensively for the Switchbacks. They concede a throw. We'll get an early chance to look at that front line, Casey, led by Derek Dotson and company for Memphis. And
that partnership between Goodrum and Dotson is something that the Switchbacks definitely need to be aware of in this game. Both players very impressive in their own right. Dotson, a bigger presence up top, a little more industrious player that's going to cause problems potentially for the back line.
And of course, on the other side of things for Colorado Springs, they've always been high attacking, high octane under Brendan Berg, but during the offseason, for those that just kind of tuned in to the Switchbacks for the first time, they bolstered that back line. Of course, losing Dennis Erdman for a couple of weeks is going to hurt. He's out with an injury, but Jeff Caldwell coming in from Hartford Athletic and other depth pieces at the back part of this team, including this man, Maka King, who sends a ball inside that's dealt with, are making the Switchbacks team a real contender in the West.
And they're definitely a team that is, like you said, high pressing mentality, want to press higher up the fields. And something that's really important for them is their transition to defend. And that's been something that's really helped them have a very minimal goals against. So to pair that with the attack they have, it's a team that's so hard to match up against.
Trey Muse will kick it out of here for Memphis 901. We had the Switchbacks in Open Cup play here at Widener Field, their last home game, and they lost to Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Of course, it wasn't the full complement from the Switchbacks. Brendan Burke told us it was kind of best case scenario. Our schedule opens up a little bit. We, of course, wanted to win the game, but now we can focus on the great start that we've had in the league, and he was really excited to see some fans come back to Widener as well for the league.
Yeah, he made no bones about it that he was happy to be back on home soil, but that it is hard to manage different tournaments alongside a USL Championship season and keeping everyone ready to go. So that's difficult, but they showed some great things, even not starting some of their really high attacking players.
Yeah, no question about it. We saw the likes of Beverly Makangila, Tristan Hodge all played well in that game. As Memphis, again, trying to probe their way through this back line for the Switchbacks. This one is floated in, easy for the former Hartford Athletic goalie, Jeff Caldwell, who grabs it. Brendan Burke said earlier in the season that out of every position, every place on the field where the Switchbacks were hoping to improve, they wanted to improve at goalkeeper, and they wanted it to be Jeff Caldwell, and they got their wish, and so far, he has delivered the goods. Missed touch in the midfield here. Haji Berry opening things up. Malik Johnson now in behind. Big chance here for the Switchbacks. Right back to Berry, who goes down in the penalty area. Referee had a long, hard think about it, and it looks like the flag is up on the near side. Offside is the call. And the Switchbacks attack breaks down on that occasion with the Switchbacks faithful and players looking for a penalty.
And a little bit of confusion there as the play went on for a while. Johnson playing it across to Berry, and there was contact there in the penalty area.
The attack goes by the wayside on that occasion. And Memphis has to pick this out, but that is a great example of what the Switchbacks can do in transition. A little bit of a miscue from Memphis's midfield, and Haji Berry nearly made them pay for it.
And that front attacking four, like you said, they can transition so quickly going forward. They win the ball in midfield, and they understand that counter-attacking piece, and you can see how quickly they can do it. If not for that later call for the offside, it was a really dangerous time for them.
Speaking of dangerous, I think it's worth mentioning, 5 games in, right? The Switchbacks are perfect. They haven't dropped any points. Haji Berry has scored once in the 5 games so far.
Yep.
He had 25 last year, tied the league record. Memphis, though, on the other hand, they might be in, but Jeff Caldwell denies them at his near post, and Memphis has to recycle it. Crucial save by one of their big moves during the offseason, and Memphis will have to retreat. What an opportunity there for the visitors who, again, you see there, haven't had a lot of the ball in the early going, but have created some good chances despite that, and Jeff Caldwell answers the call.
And the goalkeeping so important in those moments. You can have a lot of the possession, and that still happens.
Another turnover. Memphis, though, not able to take advantage of it. Matt Mahoney, who's been so versatile for this team on the far side. Brooks talked about how he's played 3 different positions so far this season. He made the challenge there. Ben Pierman's side, who are 2-1-1 so far this season, 7 points on the board. Haven't played in the league since April 2nd. They got a 1-1 draw away at Detroit City, which, as this season progresses, I think people will take that. That's a pretty good atmosphere that Detroit City has going for them in Michigan. But they haven't played. They were supposed to play earlier this week, and their game against FC Tulsa on April 13th was postponed due to unplayable field conditions. And Brendan Burke talked to us about how he was a little worried about it. He was hoping that this Memphis team would have to play and have to use up some energy, but they're ready to go. They're fresh, and so far they're showing it.
And sometimes that can work in your favor, having a little bit of the extra rest, and sometimes you're not as played in. You know, they came off a tie away, which is good in the championship to be able to get some points when you go away on the road. That's not easy. But sometimes it can work against you because you don't get into the rhythm of playing week to week when you have a postponement like that.
Yeah, no question about it. Switchbacks, to be fair as well, played well on the road so far. 3 of the 5 have come on the road. Going to Birmingham and winning, pretty impressive. So far, Vegas made it very difficult on them. Took the lead as well. And in the end, they were able to come out with the 3 points. As there was a little bit of a skirmish there. Brendan Burke not happy with what occurred there. And Jimmy Ockford, the yellow card issue to Jimmy Ockford. Caution is sponsored by Diversis Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. So an early yellow card for one of the leaders on this team. Swung in, dealt with just outside of the penalty area. And Zach Zandy wins a throw-in for the Switchbacks. Memphis will recycle it. The visitors have been off to a pretty good start so far. Controlled on the near side by Patrick Segrist. Go all the way back to Muse, and Ben Pierman's side will regroup. It's always dangerous to get in a track meet with the Switchbacks. Memphis trying to be a little careful in possession so far.
And when they're in the middle third, they're doing a really good job keeping possession through the center backs. They're doing it right now as well, and the Switchbacks not pressing so high in those moments. Like, obviously seeing some respect for the way that they can build Memphis 901, but when they get higher up the field, they're definitely looking to press higher the Switchbacks and force some mistakes to regain possession.
4 different goal scorers so far for Memphis this season. Aaron Malloy, one of them, came over from USL League One's Forward Madison, as did Derek Dodson as well. Those 2 shined for Carl Craig's team last season in USL League One. They came so close to making the playoffs in League One. Came down to the second to last day of the season and weren't able to get the result they needed. Elvis Amo, of course, coming over from RGV during the offseason for the Switchbacks, and even when they lost a few of their main men that were helping the likes of Haji Berry and Michi Galina last season, they reload with other top talent from around the league, and remain to be that high, potent attack that we've become accustomed to seeing under Brendan Burke. There's a bit of a mix-up on that far side. I think the Switchbacks were trying to let that go out for a throw. Memphis plays on, and their appeal for a free kick is gone by the wayside, but Memphis wins it back. Almost sent it into a dangerous area. The Switchbacks get a few more numbers behind the ball. Lindley helping out defensively, gets control over it, and Zach Zandy can definitively clear it. First look here at Michi Galina in open space. Haji Berry helping out. Ball into the middle of Mo, had Zandy to help him out. Aka King was calling for it. It's a give and go with a Mo. He still has it, taking it towards the corner. Good defensive work at the back by Graham Smith initially. Barry on a recycle again. Just dashing through two Memphis defenders. It's still Haji Berry. Zandy, it opens up, but he couldn't quite hit the target from just about 22 yards out.
And that's the attacking principles on display. There's so much interchange between their front four and even Zandy getting further up the field. That's very hard to defend because you have the individual pieces from each of those players, but the type of interchange that they're having, it causes problems for a back line, and you just need that open space for an opportunity.
And how about Haji Berry? I mean, just gliding past defenders there.
It looks too easy sometimes.
Yeah,
it really does.
It really does, yeah. Well, that's why he was the league MVP and Golden Boot winner a season ago. Good start for Patrick Segrist as well. That Memphis back line is going to be under a lot of pressure tonight from this Colorado Springs attack, and offside flag's going to go up here against the visitors, and the Switchbacks can reset just over 11 minutes in. Good crowd on hand tonight as well here at Widener Field, taking this one in. And how can you not, after the last season plus we've seen from these Switchbacks in a great venue like this? It's becoming quite the pairing. A Mo brought down. The referee brought that back for a free kick, and King will stand over it, formerly of El Paso Locomotive. Those two teams last year were fighting tooth and nail in their respective division last year. El Paso just about got the better of the Switchbacks. Of course, San Antonio finishing second in that division. That ended up being crucial. Of course, Brendan Burke talking about not getting the chance to play a Widener Field playoff game last year really hurt them in the end. They got knocked out, of course, by Orange County, who went on to, of course, lift the cup at the end of the season. And then, of course, the Switchbacks got a little bit of revenge here on opening night when Orange County came with the trophy in hand.
And that ball going out of bounds as they're starting to build up is so interesting because the way Memphis is defending is causing the center backs to have to kind of dictate play a little bit earlier. So they're trying to take out the midfielders of the Switchbacks, and it was important in that last moment.
Dodson was the target of that header forward. Goodrum was trying to get him involved on this near side. The pass was going to go to a Dodson, who was offside. And it's easy for Jeff Caldwell in the end. Switchbacks so far this season have had 7 different goal scorers. Michi Galina has 3 to lead them. I mentioned Haji just has 1, but he has 3 assists so far this season. That's top 5 in the USL Championship in the early stages of this 2022 campaign.
And Coach Burke talked about that. The more players that are starting to score, it just becomes an entire team that is hard to defend and unpredictable. So you can have players that might go through certain things where they don't score as much, or they might just get some assists here and there, but other players are stepping up. That is a dangerous team to have to come up against. And
you mentioned also that, you know, you think we're tough now. Imagine when Haji and Michi are really hitting it on all cylinders, as well as we saw at times last season before Michi Galina was, of course, loaned out to LAFC in Major League Soccer.
And what usually happens is you have 1 or 2 goal scorers like that, so everyone's scouting report starts to focus on those. But when other players step up, they realize we can't just focus on 1 or 2 players because other people will step up. Then they start to get more open because now there's people that those teams have to worry about. So it's a good sign for the Switchbacks that they have so many people involved on the scoreline this early.
Elvis Samo, too, has a pair to start the season as well, and we know he can bag them in the USL Championship too, so they're going to be very, very fun to watch hopefully tonight and throughout the season as well. And then, of course, Memphis, right? They're coming in. People might have worried about this matchup because Widener Field has become pretty much a fortress at this point for the Switchbacks. But this is a Ben Pierman team that got a little bit of a gift with the schedule, with the fields not working for them. They're fresh. They're relatively healthy as well. They do have a few players out tonight, but for this early in the season, they're looking raring to go, and they're looking to make a statement here tonight as a team that narrowly missed out last season on making a run late in the year. They want to show that they're in this thing in the West this year.
And they should be. They're lower down in the standings right now, but they have games in hand because of the postponement, where they can almost jump from 8th to 3rd or 4th place right now with a 1 win. So talk about motivation. Yes, you're coming to a venue that's not easy to play in and a hard team, but there's an opportunity to really jump the standings.
And of course, 8th in the East, I should say, in that conference where you got a couple of giants at the top.
Exactly.
Memphis could be a team that really announces themselves as one of those dark horse teams as the season goes on. They're able to win it back here, high up the field. Ball placed in. Ockford well positioned to deal with that, and the Switchbacks are able to get it, but only just for a moment. Again, Memphis, when they get it, patience around the penalty area. I think the referee missed that. There was a bit of a collision off the ball. Play continues. Opportunity to cross this into the middle. Buckmaster trying to set his sights, not able to find a teammate, and it's going to go out for a goal kick.
Well, it's definitely a game so far that's been end-to-end, some opportunities, an errant cross there, but some opportunities to get into the final third for both teams. Not a lot in middle third right now, but you can tell that both teams are really trying to get forward early on in this one.
Memphis again controlling it. Michi trying to help out defensively for the Switchbacks. We're also excited to see what Laurent Kissiedu, I should say, could play, and how well he can do for Memphis in this one as well. Kissiedu's a player that last season really burst onto the scene for Memphis, number 11 in white. He's gotten a few touches so far, and he's just a player that's so good when it comes to getting other teammates involved, but has the skill to cut through defenses. Goes all the way back to Jeff Caldwell, who ends up giving it right back to Memphis 901. Seekers couldn't quite connect. Again, the extra work there from Haji Berry, helping on the defensive end, and his conversation that Brendan Burke talked about always comes to mind now when I get to see the Switchbacks play. It's just a player of his caliber. Before the preseason, Brendan Burke was talking to us about him, coming up to him in his office before a ball really had been kicked. They just kind of gotten back together as a team, and he told his coach point blank, I don't care about scoring this year. I'm going to be doing everything I can to help and be a leader on this team. And Brendan Burke was so taken aback by it and so impressed by the leadership that Haji Berry has brought then and ever since. Meanwhile, Amo on the attack. Lovely footwork to get past one. Tries to get past a couple of more on the end of it, but in the end, one too many touches. Gives it away after the good work by Galena. And then a free kick will go Memphis's way right at the midfield line.
And Coach Burke, just going off what you said with Barry, when you have a player of his caliber willing to do the dirty work, to be industrious, and that's what Coach Burke has really noticed as we take a look at the last sequence as Mo gets in the left side. A little bump here, trying to draw the foul perhaps, but he kept his feet. Well defended by Memphis 901, but Barry can obviously lead the team in scoring. He's shown it, he's done it, right, and lead the league for that matter. But he's now doing other things that is allowing other people to even be better and elevate their games.
Goodrum was the one that won that free kick for Memphis 901. Malik Johnson trying to win that back. I think he's won a throw-in instead on that far side. Another player down here for Memphis after that last sequence. talked about it earlier, another great crowd here at Widener Field. Take another look at this sequence with Kisiedu.
Kisiedu just playing on the ground, and Johnson came in, but Kisiedu choosing to play from the ground there after that little bit of a bump, and Johnson not super happy with that call, but he's still down on the field.
Injury stoppage is brought to you by Centura Health, as Kisiedu is still being attended to on that far sideline. I think there was maybe a little bit of a late touch by Malik Johnson on the way through there that led to Laurent Kisiedu staying on the turf here. He's an important piece to what Ben Pierman is trying to do with this Memphis 901 squad this season. Just hope it's nothing serious. It is Memphis 901's first ever trip to Widener Field. They've never played here before. The teams met last season in August, and Memphis at home got a point. It was one apiece. It was a Haji Berry penalty in the 35th, and then it was a Murphy penalty in the 84th. Kyle Murphy, who has since left the club, and it finished one apiece. That was the first and only meeting up until today between these two franchises. Here's Cam Lindley. Haji Berry trying to slide that back for Zandy. It's picked off by Aaron Malloy, and the Irishman couldn't quite find a teammate on the far side. The offside flag is up.
Well, and you can see defensively what allowed Memphis 901 to win that was Jeremy Kelly tucking in centrally. So there's obviously a lot of respect for the central areas of the Switchbacks, but that helped for Malloy of him coming in there. An errant touch, yes, by Berry, but just kind of making sure that space is small is something that can try to quell their attack. It's going to be hard to, but they've done a good job so far.
Just played forward a Mo in there, trying to get it back, and then in the end it's Cam Lindley who's able to regain possession for the Switchbacks. And Matt Mahoney can reset. I mean, Brendan Burke, super impressed with what Matt Mahoney's been able to bring. He's always a guy that's been able to create chances down the wings, been able to get teammates involved, but he has done a little bit of everything for that back line so far. This is a lovely ball through the middle. Michi Galina making a good run in behind. The attack breaks down. It's going to be a corner for the Switchbacks on this near side. Corner kick brought to you by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. So Cam Lindley, who has been another guy this season as far as talk about chances created so far. 17 of them coming into tonight. That's tied for third best in the USL Championship. Can he create something from this set piece? It goes to the back post. Memphis deal with it. Zandy flaring it back in. The flag might go up here. Mahoney tried to finish anyway. Offside flag ends the Switchbacks attack.
Memphis stepped up really well on that. If you fall asleep at all, that can be a very bad situation for you as a back line, but they stepped up great and made sure there wasn't an opportunity that came.
So again, Memphis deals with that situation. Muse will get it back into play. Still scoreless here at Widener Field, just past the 22-minute mark in Colorado Springs. Malik Johnson tries to dance past 2-3 defenders for Memphis. Malloy fouls him, and it's going to be a free kick for Colorado Springs. Well, again, Brendan Burke touched on it, so why not mention it? Being able to run one-on-one on the outside against these Memphis defenders and midfielders, he was really looking at that matchup as a potential difference maker. We can see why there with the likes of not only Michi, of course, but Malik Johnson, just dazzling footwork.
Well, with the personnel he has in the attack, he wants to isolate as much as possible, and he talked about trying to pull Logan Smith out of their center back positions because they have a really good disciplined back line, but the more interchange they can have, and you saw it on the last chance with Amo coming wide, and Galena going inside, it makes defenders have to react to that. And if they can do that, he feels like they can get them isolated in really dangerous areas.
Memphis has had a few chances so far as well. They tested Caldwell once in this first half. Of course, Haji Berry and Michi Galena both having a couple of half chances so far as well. That attack breaks down, but a free kick will allow the Switchbacks to reset. Zandy was one of the 3 scorers at Vegas last time out. Switchbacks were down 2-1 in the final 20 minutes. They scored twice in a 5-minute interval to turn it around, and they held on the last 15 minutes to win it 3-2. Brendan Burke thought it was not the best reflection, the scoreline on the game. Thought they were the better team by more than just the 1 goal, but on the road in the USL Championship, it's more about getting the points than how you go about it.
It is. It is. There's an execution piece to it for sure. And in all but 1 game, it's been 1 goal difference. So that's a big piece of the way they play, their resilience to come back, and not just based the way they play on circumstance. They figured out how to do the small details to get results.
This was a Colorado Springs team that was so, I wouldn't even say Jekyll and Hyde, just it was a mixed bag on the road last season. And we've already seen the signs that it might not be that this year. They might be just as good on the road as they are here at Widener Field, as Zach Zandy gets tripped up on the edge of the penalty area. Could not quite get a shot away. He has gotten 1 shot off so far. Not able to pull the trigger. That time Dotson is in behind here for Memphis. Flag stays down, but Caldwell denies him on the doorstep, and it leads to a corner. What a big moment there, 1-on-1, and Jeff Caldwell comes up with the goods.
That is so huge from Caldwell in this moment. It's a well-timed run from Dodson as the back line of Switchbacks was stepping, going to that near post. Caldwell just makes himself big and really tries to cut off that angle because there's no one recovering in time, even though Ockford's trying to get there. 2 huge saves in this first 25 minutes that's kept the Switchbacks from conceding a goal.
McDivitt Law Firm corner here is, boy, Derek Dodson got up close and personal with Jeff Caldwell, but Jeff Caldwell denies him, and from the corner goes over the heads of everybody. And Memphis will look to reset. Logue is able to regather initially. Now Jeremy Kelly, 2 assists this season for Kelly in a Memphis shirt, but in the end, they concede the throw back to the hosts. And Derek Dotson wonders how Jeff Caldwell just thwarted him moments ago.
Well, the way Memphis is defending, they are conceding possession to the Switchbacks, but their ability to counterattack quickly, but with purpose, not just knocking it forward. There's purpose behind it. There's a principle behind it and how they do it. Obviously wanting to convert one of those chances and not making enough out of that corner kick, to be honest. 6 runners committed into the penalty area. The service didn't quite go where they wanted it to with nobody there on that back post area.
Again, the front line of the Switchbacks doing extra work there to try and make it easy for the boys at the back, but it's re-corralled by Kelly, searching ball in behind. Not been able to find anybody. Leston Paul picks it up in traffic, sliding it through. Another chance here for Kelly. Little give and go. And then Michi Galena helping out, doing the dirty work and keeping it in. And keeping possession. My goodness, great play by Michi Galena, but he couldn't quite find a teammate surging forward. Switchbacks will take a goal kick from that, and that is just tremendous work from one of the stars of this league.
And you can see the pace there just to be able to keep it in, but this is where I was surprised that he was able to change directions like that so quickly with Segrist right on him. But he's doing work on that side of the ball, on the defensive side, where he doesn't get as much credit for, but there is that industrious feel from the Switchbacks.
Not many players can do what Michi Galena just did all in one moment there, and he did everything but find a teammate
That's true.
with the pass. King will throw it back in. Galena just tried to help it on for a Mo, not able to find him. Oh, and that's a big touch from Lindley. That could have been trouble. Switchbacks get out of it. Number Opportunity for Tristan Hodge on this far side. Mo helping in support. Haji Berry seemingly always available to help as well. Lindley over the top, trying to find Malik Johnson. Berry gets there first. Centering pass, Lindley dwelled on a little bit too long. Memphis did well defensively, but it's going to come back, I think, for a free kick. Memphis did well to collapse on him, but they do concede a set piece in a rather dangerous area of the field as Lindley gets back to his feet. Chiropractic here. 4 men, just about 5 actually. Buckmaster lingering off to the left in this wall, and Mo joins them. Haji Berry sizing this up from quite some distance here. Lindley probably for the short option. Berry will let him take it. Lindley will shoot it, and in the end it's easy for Muse, who didn't have to travel too far to get to it.
Well, and that kind of free kick just shows the wall was set up properly. He tried to go around the wall, and that's right where Muse is. That's the exact way that should be executed. So it made it seem much more simple for Muse than it actually is in that moment. But a good opportunity from Lindley, and really the 2 biggest shots have come from Lindley and Zandy as they step into that space in front of the back line, that time drawing the foul for it. But both of them have gotten opportunities from that space about 25 yards out.
Switchbacks have it back. Haji Berry regaining possession. Lindley finding Michi Galina, who has switched sides here. And King sees Cam Lindley. Zandy to Johnson. And the shot is blazed over the top in the end by Malik Johnson. And Memphis will take that. It's out for a goal kick.
Finding some space in front, Johnson, and that's that same spot where the free kick came from, Zandy's shot earlier in the half came from. And when the Switchbacks have broken that pressure in midfield, the back line of Memphis is showing a lot of discipline, not to step too much and forcing the long shot from distance. The problem is they might connect with one of those at some point to get it on frame, but right now not wanting to concede that space behind with the pace of the Switchbacks front runners.
Kelly was dispossessed. Gets it back. Now Hodge. Last few moments when Memphis has been tested so far defensively, they've been pretty darn good so far.
It's a great space for Berry to get into, the way they're set up defensively, Memphis.
And he finds Michi Galina, who gets away from one challenge. He sends in a good ball as well. Nobody able to quite square it up inside of the penalty area. And Memphis with Malloy can settle things down. Now Dodson, who missed that huge chance earlier, denied by Caldwell. Referee says nothing wrong with that from Macca King. Now Galina. It's a good job closing him down on this near side. Memphis concedes the throw before Galina dived into his bag of tricks. King standing next to Ben Pierman, Memphis head coach, who we were talking to him last year, was just excited to get this opportunity. He's in the tan jacket there, Ben Pierman, and he's got to be thrilled that he's getting a chance to really work with this group as they have to defend this. Malik Johnson somehow gathered it out of the air. Regains possession. Zandy across the front. Ball is played in. Nobody made the run in behind, but Dodson gives it away. And the Switchbacks will reset with Mahoney and Hodge. Now Johnson able to find some green grass to run into. Berry is with him. Berry tried to find Zandy and it shuffled away. more pressure from the hosts. Lindley and Oxford will reset.
And Memphis really showing a lot of discipline defensively. Their outside backs definitely step aggressively, and you can see where Malik Johnson won that 1v1 battle, and it was an opportunity for the switchbacks. But really, Memphis not in any rush to have to win possession. They just really want to stay compact against the switchbacks' attack.
Ooh, that header gives it back to Galena. King kind of scuffed his pass. It's given away. The miscommunication there, and a poor ball forward gives it right back to Colorado Springs.
And King wasn't able to connect the pass, but against a block like they're playing, you have to dribble penetrate like he was doing. So that's the idea, to create that numbers up, numerical superiority situation.
Strong throw into the penalty area. You know, I think Mo just got a touch to that. But in the end, Trey Muse has no problems with it. Sean St. Jacques, Casey White here with you. Still no score yet. Switchbacks in Memphis here. It's going to be a free kick for the visitors. As Cam Lindley has a question or two from Elton Garcia, or I should say to Elton Garcia, our center official this evening. Memphis will have a chance to create something after this last sequence.
And it's just Cam Lindley coming from behind just a little bit. It's just a position thing there, a little bit light of a call, but the reality is he was able to get his body in front and take the momentum of Lindley to draw the foul.
You see there, of course, the switchbacks are trying to keep this unblemished record going. Brendan Burke's words were, protect the zero, both of them,
yes.
He said. That was the message in the locker room, not only from him, but from the rest of the guys, from the entire squad. That's what they were talking about earlier this week, is a boy who can really pick out a pass, finds a teammate on this near side. Kelly with a good ball across. Caldwell able to get there first, no trouble. I mean, that's the sure hands that the switchbacks were hoping he would provide. He's been called into action, and it hasn't failed in multiple attempts so far tonight under pressure.
And that's what's so important about the goalkeeping at this level. Your team, especially a team that's just cruising like the switchbacks are, they're going to have the majority of possession. They're going to have the majority of the attack. But to be able to stay focused and be ready in those moments, that's how they're winning by one goal. You know, keeping themselves in games, that's a huge part of it, the goalkeeping.
Barry tried to get a touch onto that, but Memphis do deal with it. It was Leston Paul helping out, just trying to keep it away from Haji Berry really on that occasion. Hodge from Mahoney here. And Hodge wins a free kick. Tried to take it quickly. Ooh, and it's a bit of afters there between those two. Both have to be careful, Goodrum and Hodge. Now Elton Garcia has to look through the mess here a little bit. That got a little chippy. Get another look.
Just a little push in the back there, and another one.
Ooh, that one, yeah.
The second one, I think, is.
Ooh, and Hodge has got to be very careful at the end there.
The retaliation piece after. A bit dangerous there from Hodge.
Not that Goodrum was exactly in the right there, but
exactly.
not the best reaction either. Garcia lets bygones be bygones, and we play on. What a ball from Lindley to switch the area of attack. Malik Johnson, and in the end, he had 3 runners to his right, and in the end, he blasts it over.
But I like the ball from Lindley because it's quick. It's done quickly with a change of point. Those are the types of ways that they're going to have to penetrate this back line. Malik Johnson doing everything to get that little half yard of separation, but just the shot goes away, just not able to get it on target.
Hodge got a little bit of a shot there. That's going to lead to a booking. Not sure if that was retaliation for the previous scuffle between Goodrum and it's Dodson who was booked for that challenge. Got a little bit of a shove after. Caution is sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. I think both teams need to follow that advice right now. As it was initially Dotson on Hodge, and then there was a little bit of afters. This is how it started. That push from Goodrum. Hodge retaliates there, not great. Referee separates, says, all right, let's have enough of that, and then it's escalated Casey since.
Right, I like that our center official kind of let it go a little bit there. It happens, he was right on top of it, but then seems like a bit of a teammate retaliation foul to send a little bit of a message, you know, for his teammate, for Goodrum, but, you know, our center official right on top of it, making sure now with the yellow card, hopefully that stops things and they can move on.
Yeah, Elton Garcia is our center official. I was all over that. And we will see now if bygones will be bygones. Play continues.
Take two.
Just because it's early season doesn't mean there's going to be no passion and no physicality here. It's going to be a free kick going Memphis' way, and we get a little bit of fireworks at the end of this first half. 5 minutes still going in it. Memphis showing they're up for the fight. No goals yet.
And I like this. I mean, it's a competitive game. It's going to happen. But you have to get a hold of it early on because we have so much of the game to go that it really could get out of hand. And so managing that as officials is a hard challenge. And I like the fact that there's the competitive spirit and the passion of it, though, this early.
It's a valuable player, too, getting booked there. Derek Dodson, who's had a couple of opportunities already to really get Memphis on the score sheet. Is going to be headed in the path of Jeff Caldwell. Plays catch. Switchbacks have shown how good they are in transition and with the ball at their feet, but haven't quite cracked the Memphis code yet, and vice versa.
When Coach Burke talked about how structurally sound Memphis is, super organized, has a lot of time for Ben Pierman and how he sees the game, and they've done really well today so far to really challenge the Switchbacks that there's going to have to be really good attacking to break down this team.
Lewis on the ball, Haji Berry through the middle, flag stays down, and what a save by Muse again at point blank range. Play continues, Galena, Berry, back to Galena, and it's a great tackle by Segrist and a corner for the Switchbacks, who burst back into life.
And that's the most dangerous the Switchbacks have looked, but Memphis was higher up the field, so there was space in behind to expose the back line of Memphis.
It's a T. Rowe Price corner, invest with confidence. Johnson right back in to Haji Berry across the face. And it was a Mo on the doorstep who couldn't get on the end of it. And Memphis have a throw after the Switchbacks come oh so close to opening the scoring.
It's so clever on this corner kick, the way they play short quickly, and the ball from Barry just right, a little bit too far for a Mo, but he almost got something on that. And if he had, that most likely would have been going in because Muse had to come to that near post area.
On the other end, Memphis coming forward, and big block by Mahoney, sent right back in. Nobody making a move for it as Caldwell has no problems with it. Oh my word, end to end now at the end of this first half. Memphis win it back. Goodrum. Across again, and Mahoney with a crucial touch. Memphis still in possession, and a shot comes in, and in it goes! Goodness me, where did that come from? Aaron Malloy opens the scoring for Memphis against the run of play. And on the road at Widener Field, the Beale Street boys take the lead.
You could almost feel it coming as going back and forth from both sides, and Malloy just gets a little half yard safe. You could see where he started to shift like he was going backwards to create this. You can see it right here, and there's just not seen by Caldwell. 3 players in front. You could tell he couldn't quite get set and push off for that save. It was a great finish.
Played a game of peekaboo with Jeff Caldwell, and the Irishman's second goal of the season, team leading. Second goal of the season has Memphis in front. He was doing that to League One teams last season,
You're
but
right.
he has stepped up to the championship, and he continues to wreak havoc. And the Switchbacks have to fight back yet again.
And they've shown they can create some opportunities. Both teams, really the game's starting to open up because there are opportunities being created. And when that happens, there's spaces to exploit. Malloy just does it in the right moment at the right time. And to be honest, he had the least amount of space of anyone in the last few attempts on goal for both sides.
Tough to put any blame on Jeff Caldwell, just didn't see it in time. And when he did, it was too late. And Aaron Malloy was off celebrating.
And it's a case of having 3 defenders around the player on the ball. So often you can mess one another up because of that and not know who's actually going to step to press. So that can happen, and he capitalizes in that moment.
Talked about the work Memphis had done defensively in this first half. It's paid off. They might be in again here, Memphis, and the ball just slides through. There was a touch on there. It's not dealt with yet. Flag stays down, and the spinning effort is blasted over the top. And Memphis were nearly 2 up right on the stroke of halftime. We'll have 2 minutes of stoppage time, but first we'll take a look.
And again, just trying to get an opportunity, just not able to get his hips around that one was Kelly, but a lot of space in that penalty area for him. It just seemed a little bit disjointed defensively.
What a chance for Jeremy Kelly there on the turn. Stoppage time at the end of the first half is brought to you by TikTok Shop. As Michi Galina looks on, there was a foul in there, and actually offside flag had gone up against the Switchbacks, as Michi Galina was trying to breathe a little bit better there, and play continues.
He was. Getting ready for this last minute coming up.
Here's Kelly. The goal scorer, Malloy. Lovely outside of the boot pass back to Kelly. Mahoney. It's opened up again. Memphis playing it through. Across the face it goes! And into the side netting. It's out for a goal kick as the Switchbacks were opened up again. And they couldn't capitalize. Kisiedu involved, and Memphis nearly doubled their money here.
Oh, there's a lot of space in front of that back line. The Switchbacks defense getting pulled out, and Goodrum doing well to get in between that space that Mahoney left and finding Kisiedu. But Memphis starting to show that they can pull out the defenders of the Switchbacks here late in the half.
They have picked the Switchbacks apart these last few trips down this end of the pitch. We have 20 seconds roughly left of the minimum of 2 added on at the end of a wild and wacky first half at Widener. Here's Malik Johnson. Switchbacks want the last say here at the end of the first half. Johnson gets to the byline. A good ball across. Haji Berry scuffs his shot. Second chance. It's still Berry. And Berry runs out of room. And that'll probably be the last act of the first half. And it is. Whistle goes. Memphis against the run of play. They take the lead. Aaron Malloy strike the difference. And despite all the possession, all the panache from the Switchbacks, they trail at the half.
Yeah, it's been a great half. Memphis being really disciplined defensively, but figuring out how to get a goal to take the 1-0 lead.
We're looking forward to the second half from this one. Work to do for the Switchbacks, who try to stay perfect. Halftime between these two is coming up. Sean St. Jacques back here with you at the half at Widener Field, brought to you by Capelli Sport. Memphis against the odds, leading the Switchbacks by a goal to nil. Colorado Springs and their perfect run at the start of this season in jeopardy at halftime. Brendan Burke has a lot to think about at halftime. Aaron Malloy getting on the score sheet his second goal of the season. And it was a wonderful finish. Passed it. Player in Jeff Caldwell, the goalkeeper, didn't see it right away. The Irishman won't care one bit, not one bit at all. And Memphis have the lead at the break. And we'll see how they adjust with the lead in the second half. And of course, we'll see what the Switchbacks can do as well. Again, Haji Berry and Michi Galina not quite able to get on the score sheet. We'll see if they can change things in half number 2 with Memphis leading at the moment. Tonight's honorary healthcare professional of the match is Taylor Anderson. Thank you, Taylor, for all you've done to help our community. The healthcare professional of the match is co-sponsored by Encore Electric, along with Olson Plumbing and Heating. We'll take a break. We'll take a look around the league coming up next as the Switchbacks trail Memphis by a goal to nil.
Hi everyone, my name is Yareem Ben Naeem. The Switchbacks Unified team is a team created by me last year in 2021. Next step of
Sean St. Jacques, Casey White back here with you at the half between the Colorado Springs Switchbacks and Memphis 901 FC, brought to you by Capelli Sport. Memphis leading by a goal to nil. We'll see if they can keep it up in the second half. During the break, though, we'll take a look first and foremost at the news and notes from around the USL Championship. And of course, how about Open Cup so far? 14 USL Championship clubs have punched their ticket into the third round, many of them taking on Major League Soccer opposition. Very, very fun to see that. And obviously, Solomon Asante, Phoenix legend, now with Indy 11 for this season.
Big signing for Indy 11 with Asante going there, someone who can really bolster their roster throughout the rest of the season.
And the Vegas Lights, of course, Danny Trejo has been really good so far as well. Of course, Switchbacks just got a win over them, but just a really quick, back to the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup just for a second. So cool to see that back after a few year absence due to COVID. So many teams getting an opportunity. USL Championship, USL League One teams making some noise as well. A few MLS Next Pro teams as well. So very, very cool to see that. Here's the table in the Western Conference. Not live table, at least not yet. Switchbacks are trailing. They're trying to make it 6 out of 6 tonight. But for a second consecutive game, they have fallen behind.
It's not something they haven't seen, and the result has been good for them when they've seen it before, like against Las Vegas Lights. But it's tight at the top of that table, and then honestly all the way through, 4 through 7, really tight on the point side. But the Colorado Switchbacks, like you said, trying to protect that 0 they see up there and getting that 6 win.
New Mexico United unbeaten as well through 4 games, and the Fighting Landon Donovans pacing us at the moment at the top of the table. But again, a couple games in hand for Phoenix Rising, who tend to own this conference. So we will see how they will fare as the season goes on. Of course, Orange County, the defending champs, not there at the top.
You're right.
As of yet. Scoreboard, as we take a look here, Indy 11 beating Atlanta United 2. Earlier, Vegas bouncing back against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds at home. Big win for Miami as well, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies are rolling Tulsa at the moment.
Yes, off to a great start, the Tampa Bay Rowdies in this one with that 2-0 lead, and San Antonio FC and El Paso Locomotive notched up here at 25th minute.
And we're told the San Antonio just scored, so that score just changed to a goal to nil, so they lead El Paso at the moment. We'll take another break here at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. First half highlights, stats, and the second half kick are coming up next on ESPN+. Sean St. Jacques, Casey White back here with you. Switchbacks trailing against Memphis here by a 0-0. An Aaron Malloy strike in the latter stages of the first half have the visitors in front, trying to spoil the perfect start to the season for Colorado Springs. It was an eventful half as we take a look at the first half highlights. Switchbacks off and running from the get-go.
Malik Johnson getting in on this near side, starting off quickly in the 3rd minute with this ball to Barry, and they thought a penalty kick might be called, but it ended up being an offside call just a little bit late. But you can see how Malik Johnson is so dangerous when getting in behind, and those players like Barry in the midfield getting into the penalty area.
He was one of the more dangerous switchback players for Memphis to try and deal with in this first half. 25th minute, Memphis started growing into the game.
A well-timed run by Dotson. This was the first real opportunity for Memphis, but Caldwell coming up so big, just making himself large in goal, protecting that near post space. Dotson lifts this, making it easier save for Caldwell.
Yeah, massive save there. Caldwell was called on multiple times in this first half. Memphis created some good chances, and in the 43rd minute, Goodrum would set one up, and Aaron Malloy would be in position to open the scoring.
Aaron Malloy does so well there. Just that little stutter step gives him a little bit of space. It kind of freezes the defender there right when he gets it. Comes in, little stutter step, and he has the area to the back post because Mahoney looks like he's a little bit in front of Caldwell, blocking the vision, but it's still a great finish to the back post. Caldwell just couldn't react quick enough.
And that is what separates the sides at the break. 2nd goal of the season for the Ireland international as we take a look at the halftime stats from the first half. And frankly, shots on target, Memphis leading the way, possession going the way of the Switchbacks, but despite a lot of possession and opportunities for the Switchbacks in the final third, the visitors absorbed it, they turned it into some chances of their own, and they were more clinical.
You're exactly right. They absorbed that possession stat, going 59% towards the Switchbacks, and capitalized on the opportunities they created. They were testing Jeff Caldwell early with those shots on target, and one of them finally goes in for Memphis.
And that's where we stand at the moment. Memphis on the road. Again, they're the fresher of the two teams, and they are taking advantage of it so far, leading here by a 0-0. Colorado Springs, again, 5 wins out of 5. Perfect start. Anytime they've had some adversity so far this season, however, they have answered the bell. They were down 2-1 against Las Vegas last time out. They came back. We'll see if they can do that again in this one. Memphis leading by a 0-0 on the road against Colorado Springs, and we're looking forward to the second half. Locomotive. Rowdy, so far so good against a solid FC Tulsa team at home. And how about Vegas with a bounce-back win against Bob Lilly's Pittsburgh Riverhounds?
And that's a good win for the Las Vegas Lights after having the Switchbacks come back and take the 3 points from them. And you're right, San Antonio FC scoring, that's about as live as it gets as we're announcing scores, them getting that goal to go up 1-0.
In real time, no question about that. Of course, San Antonio were a team that made such a deep run at the end of last season's Western Conference playoffs. They could certainly be a player in the West this season. We talked about Memphis earlier, how they stack up in the East. That's the kind of half that we just saw from them that could say, not only are they a playoff team, they could make some noise in the playoffs. Get a long way to go, but that's what Ben Pierman's looking for.
I really liked their approach in that first half. It was super disciplined, very structured. There was a very evident game plan to how they are defending a team like the Switchbacks, and they executed it brilliantly, in my opinion. It wasn't just errant counterattacks that were coming. It was forcing the Switchbacks to play into some hard spaces where they could win possession and turn that into possession for themselves and opportunities.
We were told at the halftime break that one of the Colorado Springs assistants was sent off. Just want to keep everybody aware of that as well. Just a note that happened between the end of the first half and the beginning of this second half. What can the Switchbacks do to kind of regain a little bit of control and get back into this game?
They really need to try to create 2v1s in the wide area. The outside backs, if they can get a little further forward, will help in the attacking piece.
Aaron Malloy's second goal of the season has Memphis in front. They'll kick from left to right at the start of this second half in their road whites, as the Switchbacks try to keep this perfect run and start to the season alive and try to protect those zeros on their record. Goodrum trying to get involved for Memphis on the far side. He's won a throw-in. Sean St. Jacques, the former women's international for the United States. Casey White on hand for this one. Good crowd at Widener Field. They haven't had a ton to cheer about over the last few minutes of that first half as Memphis gained momentum and gained control. Paul here against Zandy on the far side. He's won a throw. It's going to be a free kick. Elton Garcia, our center official, as Dotson, who did pick up a yellow card in the first half, worth mentioning that, wins a set piece. Macca King had a few choice words for the official. Michi Galina doing well to keep him at bay, as Caldwell shepherds his back line into place.
Just a bit of an unnecessary foul. Player wasn't going anywhere. Dotson had his back to goal, and obviously coming out aggressive, King being down a goal, but just in a dangerous area that really didn't need to happen.
Joint chiropractic. Free kick here for the visitors. Trying to double their money here at Widener Field. Ball is whipped in with pace to the back post. Goodrum was in behind. He was at least the closest to it location-wise. There was a touch on that. It's quickly out for a goal kick.
Just a bit heavy on the service. It's the right direction where it can be in a dangerous area, but just too much on it.
Kisiadu was putting some pressure on there with Dotson. It's recycled over to King. Amo gets on the end of it. Headed it into space, but a little too much mustard on it. It's out for a goal kick.
And that comes from the defensive shape of Memphis, forcing them to play that long ball forward. Their wingers and outside backs step forward so quickly, and a perfect timing to cause that to happen.
Mahoney. Give it back to Malloy. Goodrum running through the midfield. Mahoney brings him down. It's a free kick for Memphis 901. You see there so far when leading at halftime this season, only twice, but Memphis is unbeaten so far. Haven't lost when they have had the lead at the break. That'll be put to the test, I would assume, though, in the second half here tonight. King does well to find Zandy. Galina. Amo to Lindley. Now King can size this up. It's in a good ball into the middle. Barry was closest to it. Memphis's back line was well positioned, and they clear their lines. Able to find Dotson, who's pretty darn good going 1v1 as well. Splits the double, and he is fouled. And as you see there, going back to last season as well, Ben Pierman's side very good, having the lead at the break. Injury stoppage is brought to you by Centura Health, as Derek Dotson is slow to get up here for Memphis 901.
And that stat's not super surprising based on the way Memphis likes to play with their defensive shape, very disciplined. But getting that goal to go up 1-0, so important because they can be even more patient. They've showed patience at an equal scoreline, let alone having the 1-0 lead.
It does make the game well poised for an attacking side as well. For us as neutrals here, for the Switchbacks also.
Exactly. I mean, it gives them an opportunity to try to expose certain spaces, and they're just kind of having to figure out that chess game a little bit.
Amo is down. Michi Galina is down here as well. Amo was able to get back to his feet, as you can see there. pass sequence. And we'll play on. Hodge, pressured, I should say, by Kisiedu. Barry is wrapped around the back. That's an easy booking for Graham Smith there. Referee Elton Garcia had no quarrels there. Very quick to pull it. Yellow card issued to Graham Smith. Caution brought to you by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe as Haji Berry got wrapped up.
And that's the isolation that Coach Burke talked about, getting Smith and Logue out of that center back position to have isolation with space. And all Smith could do was wrap him up there because they were isolating him out in that wide space, which is a positive for the Switchbacks.
So Cam Lindley now, he has Hodge and Johnson for short options here, but plenty of black and blue shirts to aim at just outside of the penalty area. That's where he's going to go. It's actually a very good ball to the back post. It's going to be a corner for the Switchbacks on that far side, a McDivitt corner for the hosts. Cam Lindley will try to pick somebody out with the Switchbacks in search of an equalizer. Going to take this centrally to Zandy. What a foul away from the ball here. Elvis Samo looks to be the one who's been penalized, and well, a promising Switchbacks attack ends up breaking down. We'll take another look at this.
Just that push right before, and that's unfortunate because it's a wasted opportunity. Just no need to extend the arm there when you have worked hard to get that corner kick opportunity.
In the end, it goes by the wayside for the hosts. Dotson trying to just hold it up enough. He's able to find a teammate in Kelly, and then Kelly couldn't find Goodrum, who was making a good run towards the penalty area there. Kisiedu. Goodrum was pushed in the back. Fight for it continues. Referee will give the free kick, and again, Goodrum not afraid to take part in some afters. Diversus Health must love this game. Everyone needs to take a moment here and take a deep breath. Malik Johnson keeping his composure on that occasion. The joint chiropractic free kick allows the goal scorer, Aaron Malloy, try and find a teammate here from a pretty promising position here for the visitors. Malloy's goal separates the sides. Kisiedu was given the assist. Malloy now looking for a teammate. Mo got his head to it first for the Switchbacks. And it'll be recycled all the way back to Trey Muse. Master. Trying to find Goodrum. It falls for Laurent Kisiedu. Still Kisiedu. He leaves it initially for Kelly. Paul out wide. Memphis could be in again. It took a big deflection off of Macca King. And it is out for a Pepsi corner on the far side as the visitors continue to heap the pressure on the Switchbacks.
And that's scary moments when there's a deflection like that because you set as a goalkeeper. Caldwell sets there, and you don't know where that deflection's going, but it was great from Seacrest to get high up the field.
Switchbacks still trying to get Haji Berry a little bit more involved as well in this second half. Hasn't quite gotten the Pistons firing just yet. But a Pepsi corner for Memphis as they again try to extend their advantage. Back post it goes, a searching header in there from Smith. Paul recycles it, and in the end, it's just out of the reach of Dotson and into the grasps of Caldwell.
And you mentioned Haji Berry getting on the ball. It really has to do with the way that Memphis is set up. They really have 4 players, the 2 front runners and midfielders around Lindley and Zandy. Haji is then behind those 2, but it's so compact in there that they can't find that ball that's going to break a line behind those holding mids of Paul and Malloy in there. So it's hard to get that ball in there when they're under so much pressure.
Being down a goal can't help either.
It doesn't.
Adding to that.
It doesn't, because that's really the feat they want to find, but that's really not the space that's available. And if it is, it's too much of a long pass to really be able to connect often.
Ben Pierman has come to Colorado Springs with a plan, and his team is executing it extremely well through the first 55 minutes and change. Ball is back in play. Lindley was fouled on this near side. If you're just tuning in, the game was pretty physical as well in the first half. These teams are not shy about getting involved with each other. Memphis's goal has them in command here. This is Ockford. King on the far side, slipping it through for Zach Zandy. Zandy across into the penalty area. Galena was closest to it, but he was cut out. Kisiedu trying to counterattack for Memphis, and Ockford will shepherd it out, pardon me, for a throw.
But that's the space where Zandy received it, is the space behind the holding mids of Memphis. That's the space I'm referring to. It wasn't Barry that time. It took an interchange getting Zandy higher. But if the outside backs of the switchbacks can find that ball, you saw how much space was there for Zandy when he received it.
It nearly led to a switchbacks chance. But again, Memphis's back line making a challenge when it needs to, as Mo holds it up. Malik Johnson is stood up by Segrist. It was just touched through by Kelly. Kisiedu cut out by Hodge. Poor touch there on this near side allows the switchbacks to regain possession via a throw. Memphis coming into the night 8th in the Eastern Conference. Switchbacks are 2nd, but they're a perfect 5 out of 5 as Goodrum is slow to get up. He was fouled. Cam Lindley tells you what he thinks about it. It's going to be a free kick.
A little cheeky smile there after that call.
I think so, yeah. Hint of sarcasm from Lindley. And that man's been in the midst of it. Goodrum, not afraid to get intimate. Here's the last challenge.
And I mean, you could see the bottom of his cleats there as he went in on that one. I mean, that's could be dangerous, and most likely what our center official saw.
Malloy's ball in, the header is down, and it's 2-0. The aforementioned Philip Goodrum doubles Memphis's money in Colorado Springs. They're showered with beer from the Switchbacks Ultras. They won't care one bit. They're 2-0 up on enemy territory.
And what a dangerous ball by Malloy. There's so much pace on this. It's driven in. Goodrum redirecting that, and he does so well to get that down. That is a hard header from Philip Goodrum, the guy who drew the foul, who's been in the mix on drawing a lot of fouls here this evening, but an amazing finish from the front runner.
What a finish indeed. Malloy now, by the way, with a goal and an assist. It's Goodrum's 2nd goal of the campaign. And Ben Pierman's boys are 2-0 up at the home of the last remaining perfect team in the USL Championship. And now even their unbeaten run now is in serious jeopardy.
And that ball from Malloy is so important. How far out that header was, if there wasn't pace on that service, it'd be almost impossible to direct that on frame with any kind of pace. But Goodrum, the recipient of a great service from him.
What a night for the Irishman. He's been involved in everything Memphis has done well tonight. We've talked about adversity that the Switchbacks have faced. This is the biggest we've seen so far in the league this season. 2-0 down on their home pitch. They have half an hour to try and turn this around. I'll give a ton of credit to Memphis 901 FC. Ben Pierman's boys have just been phenomenal. And they've used the rest that they got from the midweek rescheduling to perfection. Goodrum and Malloy, the 2 goal scorers. And now the 2 joint leading goal scorers for Memphis 901 this season. Worth mentioning, just 4 goals for Memphis in total coming into tonight. They've got 2 with 30 minutes to go.
And that says a lot for them, just continuing. It's so early in the season, so just continuing to get comfortable with generating chances forward is going to be big for their confidence.
Ooh, that might have been touched outside of the penalty area. And it was. It's going to be a handball and a yellow card here for Trey Muse, who had it and then lost it just on the edge. You cannot handle the ball as a goalkeeper outside of the penalty area. It's exactly what he did in the end. It's a Diversis Health yellow card, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe, as Muse now has to batten down the hatches here. Joint chiropractic set piece. This is a chance for the Switchbacks, a bit of a gift here. An opportunity to regain a foothold in this game. It just seemed like a simple moment, but Muse ended up making a meal out of it. Lindley and Galena over this set piece. Galena will shoot, and he hits the woodwork. Goodness me, what a strike. Muse was rooted to the spot, had no hope of getting to it, and he's bailed out by the corner where the post meets the bar.
What a finishing choice right here, first and foremost. And then the way he bent that is just, I mean, almost robbed there. I mean, it was such a great choice by him. And here's the moment that led to it as Muse came out, and it still looked to almost be on the line, but maybe it came all the way across. That's what led to that free kick for the Switchbacks.
Elton Garcia, our center official, got a great look at it. Gave the yellow card immediately to Trey Muse, but I think some of the fans here are still shell-shocked over Michi Galena's effort that somehow, some way, didn't head into the back of the net.
And we had a great view of that, and I was a little bit concerned because there was only 2 players in the wall, so that brings Muse a little bit more to the near post, leaving that far post exposed.
Carlton Belmar has come on for Malik Johnson for a change here. Substitution is brought to you by William J. Hibble Sports and Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more at hibblecenter.org. So a brief switch up there for Brendan Burke as he calls upon a player in Belmar he's really hoping can change things. Isaiah Foster as well, another Hibble change. He'll come on for Tristan Hodge as well. A corner brought to you by McDivitt is in the offing here. Brendan Burke really hoping that Carlton Belmar can get on the score sheet and add to the goal parade that the Switchbacks have had so far this season. See if he can do that from this set piece opportunity. Lindley might have gone out first. Referee says it did. Assistant on the far side agrees, and it's a goal kick. Interesting double switch there. We were actually told Isaiah Foster might not get minutes tonight. He's now called upon to try and help.
Right, and he's inserting into that near side flank on the left side. It looks like outside back because he can get forward. They need to get forward. They need to create opportunities. And that goal from, that shot from Galena, just the best opportunity of this second half coming off the yellow card from Muse when he came outside the box. But that is just such a great choice from him. Unfortunate that doesn't go in.
That's what he's capable of, Michi Galena. We almost struggle to ask Brendan Burke questions about him anymore because he can't find the words to describe how good he is. He's running out of them, he's told us. Moments like that, you can understand why. But Memphis here picked the pass off. In behind, it was nearly touched right into the path of Dodson by Ockford. And the Switchbacks nearly give it away very high up the field there. And Zandy and company helped to just settle things down with 25 minutes to go, and the Switchbacks trying to get a 2-goal deficit back, but once again they concede possession. Aaron Malloy through the midfield, assessing his options. Nearly shot it there, he dwelled on it too long. Lindley picks it off. Now Haji Berry, who we haven't said a lot about in this second half. And again, passes picked off. Memphis just waiting in the wings to take these passes out. Referee thought about playing advantage there. Dotson wasn't going to gain anything further. Memphis win a free kick as Aaron Malloy continues to sparkle for the visitors.
He's had such a great performance so far in this game. That last part, I thought he was going to go forward a little more on the counterattack, looking for that third goal, but 1 goal and 1 assist for today. I mean, he's been phenomenal in midfield.
Centura Health stoppage here due to a potential injury. And it is the defender, Patrick Segrist, who is slow to get up there. Keep an eye on him. As again, Memphis have a chance to add on to the lead. We said at the top of the broadcast, Memphis 901 had a big chance to make a statement tonight. And they're 2/3 of the way to doing just that. Malloy just kind of threading it into the penalty area for Chance Kelly. Kisiedu! And Caldwell again bails out the Switchbacks. What a save.
I thought his first touch let him down a little bit, Kisiedu, but he was able to get that strike on frame. It was that first touch there, but it bounced and he hit it perfectly as it was coming back down, and a great save from Caldwell.
Nearly a third for Memphis. Now they have a Pepsi corner to take, and boy, every time Aaron Malloy steps over it, you can feel Switchbacks fans holding their breath. He's having that kind of a night, the Ireland international. Swings in another good ball, and again, it was Caldwell who came forward. Ockford just got enough onto it to prevent further trouble. Well, where would they be without Jeff Caldwell tonight? Goodness me, he's had 3 big moments. Lovely hold-up play by Kisiedu. Goodrum, the second goal scorer. Mahoney just scrambling to get it out of play for a throw. Memphis looked the more likely to score next.
And that's the best thing they're doing, is they're not sitting back and going into this protection mode of just protecting the lead. They're very disciplined, so they're still able to step up and win the balls in those areas they need to, which is higher up the field.
Malloy nearly won it back. It's going to be a Switchbacks throw. The Memphis substitutes on the near side had a word with the assistant. Foster will take the throw. Burke told us he was dealing with a little bit of an injury issue, but he's in there to help the cause, Isaiah Foster. Now Carlton Belmar, who we saw plenty of at that Open Cup game, second round against Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Here's Haji Berry. Near side, Foster. Centering pass, not the best touch from Mo. Allowed a Memphis clearance. Back out for a throw. You see there, Berry has had plenty of touches, but not many of them have been in dangerous positions, specifically in this second half.
You can see he's coming a little bit deeper to get more involved because they are taking that space away, and when he's pulling the strings, the Switchbacks are better and more effective, so he's coming back to try to just maybe present some different looks for Memphis to have to deal with defensively.
King helping him out. This far side, Belmar puts in a good ball. It falls for Zandy, who couldn't get a second touch to it before it was cleared away. Kisiedu now trying to spring a counterattack. Dodson gets on the end of it. Goodrum through the middle. Kisiedu still with him. Kisiedu in traffic, and Memphis will hold up the play. Malloy, just 2 shots on target for the Switchbacks. As we hit the 70-minute mark, 20 minutes to go, plus some potential injury time. And Memphis has a stranglehold here, the last unblemished team in the USL Championship. Segrist pressured by Belmar. Pressure leads to an errant pass. It just stays in. Switchbacks concede the throw. Play is going to be held up here. On the far side, looks like a change is in the offing. Derek Dodson is going to come off. Trying to get it all the way across the field, not to be. It's another William J. Hibble Sports Medicine Performance Center change. Luis Fernando is going to come on here for the visitors. He will continue to try to do what Derek Dodson has done, which is hold up the play. Of course, part of the reason might be because of that early booking that Dodson had as well, Casey.
There's a risk in keeping him on the field, not only the booking, but he's had a few other instances of some confrontation, just a lot of hard play up front. So not only get some fresh legs in there, but protect him a bit.
Barry had his pocket picked by Malloy. Goodrum couldn't get on the end of that, but sprinting to help. Winning the free kick there, allowing Memphis to get another free kick. As you can sense a little bit of frustration here inside of Widener Field. Great extra effort on this near side by Reese Buckmaster.
And that's the best thing that Memphis is doing, having gone up 1 goal, now 2 goals, is their outside backs are still being aggressive to step. There's a temptation to go, okay, let's be careful, let's not give up anything silly, but that's what's working for them. If they start to drop off, they're going to give Switchbacks way too much space, and that's where they're really struggling, is to find the areas to attack.
Looking to add another here. Once again, Malloy pulling the strings, not able to find a teammate. A Mo heading it out only as far as Segrist, who lines one up. Floating it into the penalty area. It's headed just outside, only as far as initially Kyle Loeb, but in the end, it's safely into the hands for a moment of Caldwell. And Mahoney resets. Is there time for Colorado Springs to keep one of those zeros unblemished? Memphis, the fresher of the 2 teams. The game earlier this week against FC Tulsa was postponed, as you saw there, due to poor field conditions. Brendan Burke said, you know, he was hoping that Memphis would have had to play that game, be a little bit more tired. We'd have more chance to run them ragged, but it hasn't happened. Meanwhile, Macca King is going to make way here for Colorado Springs, and Beverly Macangila is going to come on. Another William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center change. We'll see if Macangila can help change the tide. Nearly all of the Switchbacks bullets now have been fired off the bench. That hit the head of Barry, who didn't see it coming. It's going to be a throw-in again for Memphis 901.
It'll be interesting to see what Colorado Springs does here and Coach Brendan Burke, because Isaiah Foster coming in, a more attacking-minded player, Macangila coming in, taking off King. Obviously some personnel changes to try to generate something more going forward, maybe some different matchups, but even it'll be interesting to see if they make a tactical change.
That's picked off by Kisiedu, who's frustrated because Memphis were in behind there. It's going to be a free kick for the Switchbacks as Beverly Macangila gets acquainted. Just over 15 minutes and change left at Widener Field. Here is Michi Galina. getting the step, firing it in the middle. It falls for Haji Berry, who wasn't expecting it. And it can be recycled. Lindley finding Foster. Belmar floating it in. It took a deflection. Mo nearly got on the end of it. The bounce, though, didn't help him. And Trey Muse, who is also on a yellow card, it's worth mentioning. He's able to corral it, and Memphis stay in control.
And the Switchbacks have gone to 3 in the back line with Ockford, Mahoney, and Foster, so it'll be a little bit different look.
Oh, lovely from Fernando. Got past one. Kisiedu threading it through. Memphis again, looking dangerous. Fernando! Blocked off by Foster, and it's a goal kick. Foster did enough. We've already seen a little glimpse there of what Luis Fernando can provide for the visitors. Now then, Galena and Barry, who once again just hasn't quite gotten it going in this second half yet for the Switchbacks. We've seen some near mesmerizing moments from Michi Galena, but despite hitting the corner where the post meets the bar, he's been a little quiet as well, although he always tends to have something up his sleeve. Here's Barry. Misplaced pass that time, gave it right back initially, but then a fortuitous bounce allows him to regain possession. We also haven't seen as much of the Switchbacks really attacking on the wings as much. Also, like you mentioned at halftime.
Right. It's the way that Memphis has set up. It makes it very, very hard because they go really hard with their winger and their outside back at the same time, and they're in sync with one another when they step. So you have to almost just win that 1v1 battle with pressure, or the ball has to be played in behind to bring out the center backs. And the Switchbacks today just haven't been able to find that. But now with a 3-back, they're starting to get Isaiah Foster to be able to go up a little bit. So it's just a different look, trying to break down Memphis.
Memphis has some numbers here. Fernando helping it on. It was Kelly who had it for a moment. Now Mac and Gila, those two get tangled up. And it's a free kick for Colorado Springs. We're starting to run a little short on time here. 13 minutes, 12 and a half actually, with some stoppage time pending as well. But they need 2 if they're going to keep this unbeaten run alive. Foster gets it away from Fernando. This is a pretty tough part of the Memphis schedule, it should be said. Switchbacks tonight, and the Rowdies go to Memphis, and then they host Miami after that, who's starting to pick up a little bit of steam after dealing with some injury issues. So this is a big night on multiple fronts for the visitors, and boy, have they stepped up to the plate so far. Goodrum scored the second after Malloy's opener in the first half. This is Malloy, who assisted the second goal. Buckmaster, Kelly. Buckmaster keeps it in. Kelly's on the end of this, and he nearly squeezed it past Caldwell, who, at least according to the referee, kept that in play. Switchbacks now trying to counterattack. Michi Galena. And still not able to find a Mo. And Mahoney can recycle it to Ockford.
And you mentioned 3 points is vital in a run where you're going to have that kind of competition, but also the confidence that comes from that of just seeing that you can go against a team like the Switchbacks and have a good performance. If they can pull this out, that's big for them.
Lindley wins it back. Lovely dummy by Zandy, but he couldn't get it to Barry. Again, Memphis is going to use a little bit of clock. Goodrum fouled by Mahoney. And it's a free kick right in front of Ben Pierman as it looks like a change is in the offing here. 10 minutes to go in this one. It looks like Carlton Belmar, who looks to have picked up a bit of an injury, is going to be withdrawn. And Issa Ryan, who we were told might get some time tonight in the latter stages. It's another William J. Hibble substitution here. We'll see if he can make an impact, hoping Brendan Burke talked to us about getting him back into form. He's a guy that has a high ceiling, he says, and he's got a little bit of a chance here to help make a difference. Although Malloy continues to drive forward. He thought about taking on the shot. He closed down. Great calm and collected play to find Buckmaster instead. There's the confirmation. Ryan in for the likely injured Belmar, who was holding his left leg on his way off. William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center change. Now a Mo. Barry over to Galena. And Galena, it took a deflection, and Ryan, what a chance. Wasn't able to get on top of it. A Mo's effort goes wide, and it is out for a goal kick. Boy, Ryan tried to hit it first time on this near side. Didn't line it up well enough.
And Galena taking on in the 1v1 is so dangerous. It takes that deflection, and it was almost as Mo and Ryan kind of threw each other off there. But an opportunity for the Switchbacks, and they can score very, very quickly. And this just shows that they can get numbers in the penalty area, but not able to convert on that one.
Coming down on 8 minutes remaining, and it looks like Ben Pierman now is going to make a couple of adjustments himself. David Egbo on for the goal scorer. Goodrum is one of those two. Brendan Burke actually highlighted Egbo to us before the game. He gets to see him now. Kelly is taken off as well. Chris Allen is going to come on. Both changes brought to you by William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. A card might be coming out here for that last challenge. A bit of extras again here. Lindley is booked for that last passage of play. Yellow card brought to you by Diversis Health. Mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. We'll get the second look at it.
Just a late challenge there by Lindley. Foul call though, but it's just combative in midfield. Lindley trying to step forward. It's just a little bit late coming in, going for the tackle, but getting there first was Malloy, and he took the hit.
So Centura injury stoppage to make sure everyone was okay after that collision. Lindley into the referee's book. 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go as Memphis are closing in on a statement win, their first ever trip here to Widener Field, and they're in command. These two teams drew with Memphis as the hosts a season ago. Memphis trying to make it 2 unbeaten to start this all-time series between these two clubs. And if this holds as well, this will be the second straight home defeat in all competitions as well for the Switchbacks. And most notably, of course, it'll end their perfect/unbeaten run at the beginning of this season. Egbo doing well to keep it at this end. It's going to go out in the end for a goal kick. 6 minutes still, but the Switchbacks have to get that first one in double quick time. Foster. A Mo in traffic. Barry plays it on for Michi Galena. Galena thought about shooting and does! And Muse again had to be ready for it. You just never know when Galena is going to pull the trigger. And it's out for a corner after another vicious strike
And a great first touch from Galena, just taking a quick look up, seeing if he had an opportunity to go on frame, and he definitely did on that third touch right before getting pressure, but forcing the save from Muse. And Amo went down in that possession, but he really is the one who started it for the Switchbacks.
Pikes Peak corner leads to Foster, recycling it here. Cam Lindley back into the mixer it goes, and it's over the top of the head of Mahoney and out for a goal kick. 5 minutes left of the 90, and Memphis will be in no hurry to regain, or I should say, to restart the play here. Goals from Aaron Malloy and then Philip Goodrum have Memphis ahead. Memphis can hold on, they'll get to 10 points. Pending some other results, of course, they could move up from 8th in that loaded Eastern Conference. As well, remember, only the top 7 get in to the playoffs at the end of the season. He's restarted. That's not exactly what Ben Pierman, I think, was hoping for. They give it right back. The Switchbacks have 4 minutes and stoppage time left. Can they get away back into this game? Here's Haji Berry. Over to Amo. Inviting Lindley into the play. Issa Ryan now. Sliding it through for Amo, who could make something happen. But he runs out of room at the vital moment. And Memphis regained possession.
And all of that comes from finding Haji Berry in that space behind the midfield. Memphis has done so well, and you're right, they've been rested, so they really haven't tailed off at all throughout this game on really defending that space. But anytime Berry and Zandy get it a little higher up the field, it seems as if the Switchbacks are going to generate an opportunity. Not quite able to finish it there and get a cross off, but that's when they're most effective going forward.
Foster. Tight quarters here for Zandy. Amo keeps it, finds Foster. Now Lindley poking it through. Berry back to Lindley. Zandy is through. Goalkeeper comes for it and grabs it off the line. Well timed by Trey Muse, and it needed to be. Now Memphis. Allen dispossessed. 2 minutes of the 90 remaining. Ryan. Akingila. Berry again trying to pull the strings. Michi Galena. A step over into space. A good ball in. Amo was the target. Memphis again deal with it. Only as far as Akingila. Ockford, Galena, and Galena is stood up. Referee saw nothing wrong with that. Memphis will dump it back in. Egbo's pressure. As we're getting close to the final minute of the 90. Stoppage time now will be crucial if the Switchbacks are going to get 2 here. Zandy to Berry. Back to Zandy, who had open space to his left, and Malloy makes a crucial challenge.
He just steps in at the last minute. It looked like Zandy had so much space there, but Malloy, who's not only a goal and an assist, but doing the work defensively for Memphis as well.
Well, we await stoppage time now. Will be very telling to see if the Switchbacks will have enough time left Barry inside, and he scuffs it at the vital moment, and Muse just got enough behind it. It's a McDivitt corner. Oh, Haji Barry nearly cutting Memphis apart by himself. It leads to a set piece. What an opportunity. Meanwhile, another William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center change. Zach Carroll on for Laurent Kissiedu to try and see this out for Memphis. 4 minutes of added time are brought to you by TikTok Shop as the corner is quickly headed out for a throw. Galena. Zandy. Zandy wins another corner, brought to you by McDivitt, far side. Switchbacks have to get on with it. They have 3.5 minutes left. Zach Zandy will take it. Oh, it's in from Mahoney. Muse came for it. He didn't get there. And the Switchbacks have a lifeline with 3 minutes of injury time left. Trey Muse, who's been so good all night, took a risk. Matt Mahoney made him pay for it. They'll keep their unbeaten run afloat. Well, the Switchbacks seemingly needed somebody to step up. Off the set piece, Matt Mahoney delivers. The Switchbacks don't have a lot of time, but they do have time left. This won't help. Fernando in behind. Slides the ball across, and a shot is blocked by Ockford, who just gets it away only as far as Paul. Segrist finding Allen. Couldn't finish the job. This nearly sealed it.
A great opportunity.
Switchbacks on the other end. Galena. Switchbacks have it. Lindley. Ryan. Haji Barry. Memphis can use a little bit more. 20 seconds if they can get the ball. Anywhere that's not on their side of the field. Macangila back into the path of Lindley, who places it into a relatively dangerous area. Barry trying to touch it forward to Galena, who has pace. Segrist plays it forward. Barry's control. Lindley, we've had the 4 minutes. Lindley continues to fight on. It's a free kick in the final minutes here. Does Lindley want to wait? He's going to wait here. It's a joint chiropractic free kick. This is surely last chance saloon here for the Switchbacks. We've had the 4 added on. Elton Garcia will give the host just enough time to send this into the penalty area.
I think it was a good choice for him not to play short. I know he's excited to go. It's into the game, but really this is a great opportunity for the Switchbacks.
Lindley will change the angle to Haji Barry. Barry chips it in, but right into the hands of Muse. Goalkeeper Caldwell actually came forward as well. And you know what? That's it. Last act of the game. And Memphis 901 FC gets a statement win at Widener Field. They end the perfect and unbeaten start to the Switchback season. Memphis wins it on the road in Colorado Springs by 2-1.
It's a great win for Memphis 901 FC, 2-1 over the Switchbacks. I mean, you have the organizational structure that really kept them in the game early. Also the integrity to defend and to work and to use that rest to their advantage. And then to top it off with 2 really good finishes for goals.
Malloy and Goodrum. The difference, Mahoney grabbing one in injury time. The Switchbacks with a mad dash to the finish. In the end, they couldn't get it done. Our man of the match is, of course, Jeff Caldwell, brought to you by Better Business Bureau. Read verified customer reviews and check business ratings at bbb.org. He came up with some big saves for the Switchbacks in this one. You saw a few of them there. In the end, it comes in a defeat as both teams, after a physical battle that had a lot of emotions involved, shake hands at the end of a hotly contested USL Championship game here in the month of April. And in the end, it ends up being a Memphis win. They get up to 10 points in this season as we take a look now at the critical moment of the match presented by Centura Health. Boy, this would have changed the game if Michi Galina could have found the back of the net, and I'll tell you what, he was inches away from doing so.
It would have changed the whole complexion. That would have been a tying goal. That was a huge moment where Memphis was able to keep their lead, doubling it just a little bit later. It's a great opportunity from the Switchbacks, and really, it's where they looked the most dangerous this evening was on set pieces, and that was one of them that didn't quite go their way.
And in the end, it was Memphis who came out with a 2-1 win. We talked about what the Switchbacks could do a lot tonight. We talked about what Memphis had to do to win this game, Casey. What stood out for you the most in Memphis's victory from their standpoint?
For me, it was their tactical structure defensively. Yes, they had 2 great goals, but they frustrated the attack and thwarted the attack at times of the Switchbacks. Not to say that the Switchbacks didn't create good opportunities, because they did, but they limited them. And they limited them to half chances, shots from distance, and I think that was the difference.
And now we'll wait to see how the Switchbacks bounce back from their first defeat of the season. First time they've dropped points in the league.
Yes, and this is just another test, right? They've had to come back, you know, from being down to still win games. This is their first loss, so they'll be resilient, I'm sure, as Coach Burke has mentioned earlier when we've spoken, and look to try to change the trajectory after this.
Well, the first trip to Widener Field turns out to be a fruitful one for Memphis 901 FC. We will send it to break here. Full-time highlights and stats to wrap things up from Colorado Springs are next. Sean St. Jacques, Casey White back here with you, wrapping things up on the Capelli Sport postgame show. Memphis winning it on the road here against the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs by the final score of 2-1, a statement victory for Ben Pierman and company in their first ever trip here to Colorado Springs and Widener Field. The unblemished start to the Colorado Springs Switchbacks season comes to a close, and Memphis was able to pull out the victory as we take a look at the full-time match highlights. We start with this shot unsighted as Aaron Malloy was able to sneak it past Jeff Caldwell, who just didn't see it quick enough.
Katsiedu does well to find Malloy, just trying to keep possession, and Malloy really creates this on his own. Jeff Caldwell not able to really explode out and make that save. It really seemed like a bit of a half chance. His hips are facing the corner flag and trying to get it around to that far post area. He does a great finish to give them the lead.
he was far from done. The Irishman, Aaron Malloy, he would be involved in quite a bit in this game for Memphis 901. We switch to the second half, and here he is again getting involved.
Goodrum drew the foul for that set piece. Malloy delivers on the service, and it's moments like these where you've got to get the delivery right, the pace, and what a finish off the head of Goodrum. But you're right, Malloy with the goal, with the assist, with the work rate in midfield, big time for Memphis 901 today.
They were 2-0 up at the time, 62nd minute. Michi Galina nearly scored the goal of the week in the USL Championship. He came inches away.
It was a beautiful opportunity from Galina. The woodwork keeps it out. Muse was not going to be able to cover that one. A bit unfortunate. That would have changed the complexion of the game, gotten them back in it a bit sooner for the Switchbacks.
They did get back into it, however, stoppage time. Matt Mahoney gave the Switchbacks a lifeline.
That ball dipped right when it should have for the Switchbacks early. Muse not coming with a direct path to the ball. Mahoney, a great brave finish there in the near post area.
But that would be it. Switchbacks didn't have enough time to find an equalizer, and as the moon begins to show here in Colorado Springs, we take a look at the full match stats. What stands out to you from this?
The shots on target for Memphis, 5 out of 8 compared to 5 out of 12 for the Switchbacks. That is big, especially when you're not controlling the possession. You've got to take advantage of the opportunities.
Early in a USL Championship season, you start to look for statement wins, big performances that could show up late in the season. Memphis provided one tonight, coming to the home of the last perfect team in the USL Championship and coming out with all 3 points. For Casey White and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Widener Field. Memphis wins it by 2-1. Remember the name at the end of the season.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.